Hey everyone, I'm Carla from Carla Arlene Creations, and I am going to show you how to dress up your skeleton hand to make it a candle holder. As you can see, the skeleton hand has a little fancy sleeve on it, and I'm going to show you how to make your own with a scrap of material and some trim and ribbon, some hot glue, and a sewing machine. So let's get started. First, I'm going to cut a piece of material that's 9 inches long. Okay, next I'm going to hem the top and the bottom of the material, and then we're going to add a piece in the center to put the elastic in. So like I said, I'm going to hem the top and the bottom. I always like to do a couple back stitches at the end so that it doesn't come apart. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a piece of material inside here to make the elastic sleeve. So this is, let's see, not quite, about 3/4 of an inch, as you can see. And when I did this, let's see here, did I? Yeah, I folded it over, so you're gonna probably want an inch wide, and then the 9 inches long. So I'm going to cut a piece of material that is, let's see here, well, we'll go an inch, we'll go about 1.25 inches wide. Let me push this back. So 1.25 inches puts us to these dots. So I'm going to cut down through these dots. And I'm going to take, let's see here, and let's see where 9 inches will end us up. Okay. Let's see, this isn't quite straight, so what we're going to do is cut this piece off. So I like about scrap material. So about 1.25 inches would put us down here, and 9 inches. Should put us about there. Let's see here. Yep, put us at those dots right there. So we're going to go a little bit further up, and then we're going to cut this way, and then we'll cut this little piece off. Now, it really doesn't matter on this material what is top and bottom because it's polka dots. So I'm going to fold this over like this, and then let's see how far down. So not quite 1 inch down. So we're going to start. We're going to put it on this row of dots. Alright, so I know I'm going to go along this row of dots, and I'm just going to fold under. Okay, so we got that piece of the insert in. Now we're going to go back after I cut strings, and we're going to do this piece, and we're just going to lightly fold it over and kind of making a tube. You want it big enough that you can get your elastic and a safety pin through. So we're gonna put this down. Okay. And so we got our tube for our elastic. So the next thing we're going to want to do is put our elastic in so that we can sew up the sides. Now this elastic I bought a few years ago off of Amazon. I can look it up and see if I can find it and put the link in below the video here. As you can see, I haven't used all of it. I bought it for masks during COVID. So what I'm going to do is I always keep a safety pin on the end of this because it just makes it easier to put the safety pin in and push your elastic through. Like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of put this together and grab our skeleton hand and put it in. You want it a little snug, but not too much, because this is just to give it a look. So I think that'll be good there. So let's, which end? Okay. So we want to cut this here. And we'll take the safety pin out of this side. So I'm going to hold both edges of the elastic because I don't want them to pop back through and I have to go fishing them out again. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull these two pieces of elastic together and I'm going to tie a knot. See? So it's still a little loose for around the hand. But now we have a knot in there, and I don't have to worry about my elastic going anywhere. So what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to turn this back inside out, and you want this piece on the inside. And we're going to sew this together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch this out and pull the elastic so that it'll go over it. All right. And there is our cuff so far. And as you can see, it will fit over the hand. Actually made this one a little more snug than the other one, but that's okay because it'll hold on better. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get some hot glue and we're going to decorate it so it's a little more fancy. Okay, I've heated up my hot glue and I have some trim that's kind of looks like crochet trim, and I have some ribbon that I'm going to glue on to the edge of the sleeve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start where the actual seam is, because this is actually going to be on the bottom, so you won't see this as much. And what I'm going to do is take my hot glue gun and I'm going to put hot glue along the edge where we did our hemming, and I'm going to take this and lay it down and then press it on, and I'm going to continue doing that until I get it the whole way around my sleeve. I got this lacy looking trim at Michael's. It was part of the Halloween trim bundles you could get. I thought, well, I can use it for all kinds of ideas. So, here we go. Okay, and then I'm going to put some more glue on, and let's see. And overlap it just a little bit at the end. And we're to cut the rest of this off like that. And I'll just put a dab of glue on here just to there. Then I'm going to take the black ribbon I have and I'm going to go along here and I'm going to put hot glue on this and glue this on. And we're almost done with the ribbon. I'll put some more glue on here. And there you go. So we got the ribbon, and we're going to overlap it a little bit like we did the green stuff. So I'm just going to cut it off there and add a little bit of glue at the end so that it glues on. And of course you got strings of glue and thread. So we're going to cut some of the thread pieces off. But there is your cuff for your skeleton hand. And all I'm going to do is, like I said, the seam I put on the bottom because I have the hand up. Like that. And then all I do is add in a flameless candle that's on a timer and just sit it out as a decoration. So there is your how to make a cuff for a skeleton hand. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and showing you how to make your own skeleton hand sleeve. All you need to do is then add a flameless candle into your skeleton hand and then you can put it out for Halloween decoration. Hope you enjoyed. Happy Halloween.